Welcome to this audiobook summary of Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen. Let's begin with a simple question. When was the last time you felt truly productive, while also feeling calm and completely in control? Most people rarely feel both at the same time. In today's world, we constantly feel rushed, overwhelmed, distracted, like we're chasing the clock every single day. We have too much to do and not enough time. We're flooded with messages, updates, notifications, meetings, and responsibilities. And yet, no one really taught us how to handle this constant wave of demands. What if, and really think about this, what if you could get everything done that actually matters, while being present, relaxed, and focused? That's what Getting Things Done, or GTD, is all about. It's a simple but powerful system that teaches you how to organize your tasks, your time, and your mind. And it doesn't require a massive change, just a smarter way of working. Now let's talk about the core idea. You see, most of our stress doesn't come from having too many tasks. It comes from mismanaging our commitments. We forget things. We remember them at the wrong time. We think about them too often. We feel guilt, pressure, or confusion. Why? Because we try to keep everything in our heads. And the human brain, as brilliant as it is a terrible storage device. Our brains are meant for having ideas, not holding them. Think of your mind like a computer. Your working memory is like RAM. When you try to store too much in your RAM, your system slows down. You feel tense, cloudy. You lose clarity. That's when stress creeps in. David Allen's method solves this by giving your brain a break. Instead of juggling everything mentally, GTD helps you move your tasks out of your head and into a trusted external system. Let's break this down into 3 main steps. First, capture. You need to gather every single thing that has your attention. This means tasks for work, projects at home, promises you made, appointments, even random thoughts like buy groceries or call mom. Write them down. Use a digital app. Use paper. It doesn't matter, just get it out of your head. Second, to clarify. Go through each item and ask, what does this mean? What is the desired outcome? And most importantly, what is the very next action I need to take? Be specific. If you wrote taxes, that's vague. Clarifying might look like, email my accountant or find last year's documents. The goal is to break tasks into clear, doable steps. Third, organize and decide. Once your tasks are clear, you decide when and where to do them. Some things go on your calendar. Some go on a next actions list. Some might be delegated. Others saved for later. The key is knowing that everything has a place and you can trust the system to remind you when it's time. This creates a powerful effect. You free up mental space. You stop obsessing over what you're forgetting. You stop wasting time thinking about tasks without actually doing them. Let's be honest, how many times have you thought about the same task multiple times today, but made zero progress on it? That's mental friction. GTD helps you eliminate that. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. You gain clarity, confidence, and control. Now here's a reality check. In the past, life was simpler. If you were a farmer, your tasks were visible and milk the cows, plow the field. Today, as knowledge workers, most of our tasks are invisible. You have to figure out what needs to be done before you can even begin doing it. And that's mentally exhausting. Peter Drucker put it best, in knowledge work, the task is not given. It has to be determined. So here's what happens. We spend hours thinking about our work instead of doing it. We get stuck in loops. Should I start this? Should I email her first? Is that even important? That's where GTD shines. It gives you structure. It removes ambiguity. It helps you define your outcomes, your next steps, and your priorities. Let's pause and reflect. Think about something on your mind right now. Maybe it's a report you need to finish, a conversation you've been avoiding, a trip you need to plan. How many times have you thought about it today? Now ask yourself, did thinking about it help you move forward? Or did it just drain your energy? That's the trap most of us fall into. We confuse thinking with planning. We carry stress because our minds don't trust us to remember what we've committed to. So our brain keeps sending reminders at random when you're in bed, or in a meeting, or walking your dog. But once your brain trusts that you've captured your tasks and organized them properly, it stops nagging. It relaxes. And you feel relief. That's when you're finally free to focus. Free to be present in a meeting. Free to listen fully during a conversation. Free to relax when it's time to rest. And this clarity is transformational. You stop multitasking. You stop reacting. You start choosing what to focus on with intention, not pressure. This is not about working harder. It's about working smarter, lighter, freer. Getting things done is not just a system. It's a shift in mindset. From chaos to clarity. From stress to structure. From reactive to deliberate. This was just the first step. The beginning of a new practice for a new reality. A reality where your mind is clear. Your focus is sharp. And your actions align with what matters most. Stay tuned. Because what's coming next will take you even deeper into the tools, habits, and insights that will help you master not just your to-do list, but your entire life. In Chapter 2, we dive into the engine behind the GTD system, the 5 steps of mastering workflow. Let's begin with the big idea. If you want real control over your life, from cleaning out your kitchen drawers to organizing your entire business, there's a 5-step process that can get you there. It's simple but powerful. The 5 steps are: 1. Capture. 2. Clarify. 3. Organize. 4. Reflect. 5. Engage. Most people are already doing some of these steps, but they do them inconsistently or incompletely. And that's where stress begins to creep in. A half-done system gives you half the results and all the anxiety. So let's walk through each of these 5 steps in depth and uncover what's truly required to gain clarity, reduce mental clutter, and master your day. Step 1. Capture. Think about this: how many things are on your mind right now? Maybe it's groceries, an overdue email, a dream project, a personal errand, a deadline, a text message you forgot to reply to. These are all open loops. Loose ends that haven't been dealt with. And they weigh on you whether you're aware of them or not. The first step in GTD is to get it all out of your head. Every task, every commitment, every random idea. David Allen calls this the capture step. You need 1 or 2 tools, maybe a physical inbox, a digital app, or even a voice memo app that you trust. But the real key? You have to use it for everything. Your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. Imagine trying to do your job with dozens of browser tabs open, background music playing, and 5 conversations happening at once. That's your brain when it's overloaded. Capturing everything externally is how you free up your mental REM and gain clarity. Step 2. Clarify. Once you've captured everything, don't just let it sit there. Clarify what each thing actually means. Ask yourself, what is this? Is it actionable? If not, is it reference material? Is it trash? Is it a someday maybe idea? If it is actionable, decide, does it take less than 2 minutes? Then do it now. If not, can you delegate it? Or should you defer it? Don't just write mom on your to-do list. That's vague. Be specific and buy mom a birthday gift by Friday. The goal is to transform messy input into clear next actions. Step 3. Organize. Now that everything is clarified, it's time to organize. Allen suggests 8 categories to file your items. Projects list multi-step outcomes like launch new website or plan summer trip. Project materials, documents, files, notes all stored neatly and out of sight. Next action, simple, doable steps like call center or draft emails to client. Waiting for tasks you've delegated with a reminder of who owes you what. Calendar only for time-specific tasks like doctor appointment at 3 p.m. or team call Friday at 10 a.m. Never overload this with regular DDoS. Someday/maybe cool ideas or dreams you're not ready to act on, like a learn French or start a podcast. Reference stuff to keep, not act on. Like a receipt or a helpful article. Trash obvious? Yes, but important. Having everything in its right place means you never waste time wondering where something went or what to do next. Step 4. Reflect. You've captured. You've clarified. You've organized. But life changes fast. So if you're not regularly reflecting on your system, it becomes stale and your brain stops trusting it. That's why Allen recommends a weekly review. Once a week, set aside time to look through your projects, next actions, waiting fors, calendar, and someday/maybe list. Ask what's changed. What's still relevant? What needs to be added or deleted? Think of this like rebooting your mental operating system. You refresh. You clean up. You reconnect with your commitments. Without reflection, even the best system falls apart. Step 5. Engage. This is where the rubber meets the road. You've got a clear mind. A trusted system. Organized priorities. Now the only question is, what should I do right now? There are 3 models that help with this decision. First, the 4 criteria model. It asks, 1. What's your context? Are you at your desk? In the car? At the store? 2. What's your time available? About 5 minutes or 2 hours? 3. What's your energy level? Feeling alert? Or drained? 4. What's your priority? What's most important right now? Second, the 3-fold model for work. It helps you decide what kind of work to do. Predefined work tasks on your list. Work as it shows up, unexpected calls, issues, or requests. Defining your work, updating your lists, clarifying tasks, and organizing. Third, the 6-level model. This one zooms out. From the ground up, it goes. Current actions, projects, areas of focus, goals, vision, habits. Sometimes you're choosing between equally urgent tasks. That's when it helps to ask, which action aligns better with my long-term goals, my core values, my purpose? Let's wrap it up. The 5 steps of mastering workflow are simple, but they are not always easy. Capture, clarify, organize, reflect, engage. Miss one and your system leaks. But master them and you unlock clarity, calm, and focused execution. This chapter laid the foundation. The chapters ahead will guide you deeper into each step. Your time, energy, and attention are your most valuable assets. Don't waste them on confusion or chaos. There is a better way to work, and it starts right here. Remember, this model mirrors how our brains naturally solve problems. It's intuitive, flexible, and scalable. Whether you're planning a major event or just getting through your week, these steps help you think more clearly, act more decisively, and finish what you start. In the next chapters, we'll begin to apply these principles to even more specific aspects of your day-to-day productivity. For now, take a deep breath. Look at your current projects. And ask, do I know why I'm doing this? Do I know what success looks like? Have I brainstormed how to get there? Is everything organized? And most importantly, do I know the next thing I need to do? If you do, you're on your way to mastering your workflow. Chapter 4, setting up the time, space, and tools. You're ready to put the getting things done system into action. But before you dive into task lists and project plans, there's one essential question to answer. Where are you going to do all of this thinking, planning, and organizing? And how much time will it take? Let's begin with the first piece of the puzzle: time. David Allen recommends carving out 2 full days to properly set up your GTD system. That's right, 48 hours of uninterrupted focus. It might sound like a lot, but remember, this isn't just a cleanup session. It's a full mental reset. Just collecting everything that has your attention, every incomplete task, every lingering email, every half-finished idea can take up to 6 hours. And that's just the beginning. You'll be sorting, deciding, organizing, clarifying. That takes energy. It takes honesty. It takes effort. So, whether you use a weekend, a holiday, or simply divide it across several days, give yourself the space to think clearly and reset your commitments. Even if you can't spare 2 full days, starting with whatever time you can find will still help. You'll feel progress with each step you complete. Now let's move to the space. This is what Allen calls your cockpit of control. If you work from both home and office, you'll want identical systems in both places. Your space needs to support your workflow calm, clean, and ready for action. You'll need a writing surface, an in-tray, a place for your phone and computer, file drawers and reference shelves, and enough room to breathe and move freely. This is not just about having an office. It's about creating a workspace that reflects the way your mind wants to work: clear, efficient, and reliable. Now, onto the third part: tools. To get started, you'll need a few core supplies. Here's a checklist. At least 3 stacking trays, a stack of plain letter-sized paper, post-it notes, paper clips, a stapler and staples, scotch tape, rubber bands, an automatic labeler, file folders, a calendar, a trash bin or recycling container, and something to capture and manage your tasks, whether that's a notebook, an app, or a digital planner. You might be wondering why this list seems so basic. That's the point. You're building a physical foundation for a mental system. The trays, paper, and folders help you capture, sort, and process information quickly and clearly. One tray becomes your inbox. As you go through your items, you'll need places to store tasks that require quick 2-minute actions and others that require more time, like articles to read, forms to fill, or documents to sign. The post-its, paper clips, and labeler. They help you keep related materials together, grouped, labeled, and accessible. It may seem like overkill, but imagine how much time you waste searching for that one document or trying to remember where you stored a note from last week. When your tools are set up properly, those moments disappear. Let's talk briefly about your organizer tools. This is where many people get stuck. Paper or digital? Planner or app? Calendar or notebook? There's no right answer, only what works for you. To help decide, ask yourself, how do I want to see my reminders of actions, agendas, and projects? Where and how often do I want to review them? Am I already using something to manage lists or reference material? Some people prefer paper: tangible, visible, satisfying to cross off. Others live in their phones or computers and want digital systems that sync across devices. There's no rule against using both. What matters is this: whatever tool you use should change your behavior. It should help you capture, track, and review your commitments reliably. Not because it's trendy. Not because it looks cool. But because it actually works for you. Maybe it helps you enjoy the process. Maybe it just feels easy to stick with. Either way, remember, a great hammer doesn't make a great carpenter. But a great carpenter always wants to have a great hammer. Now let's address a major obstacle in most people's systems: filing. The absence of a trusted filing system, both physical and digital, is one of the main reasons people struggle with clutter, both on their desks and in their minds. Piles of paper. Messy desktops. Overflowing inboxes. These are symptoms of one thing: unprocessed reference material. You need a place to put all the things you want to keep, but don't need to act on right now. This is your general reference system. It's not your student file. Not your employee file. Not your client documents. It's a place for brochures, notes, articles, manuals, receipts, ticket stubs, and all the small things you might want to find later. And it should take no more than 1 minute to file something. That's the standard. If it takes longer, your system needs work. This is often the first step Alan takes with his clients: a trip to the office supply store to buy a filing cabinet and a fresh stack of file folders. And don't forget your digital world. Your digital reference system is just as important. Don't store everything in your email inbox. That's a recipe for anxiety. Instead, set up digital folders that mirror your paper system, organized to Z. Yes, alphabetical. Not by category. Why? Because when you file by topic like health or finance or events, you often forget where you put things. But alphabetical systems are intuitive, simple, and fast, and make it easy to create new folders. Always keep file folders handy. Always have space to grow. Once a year, purge. Clean out the old stuff. Make room for the new. There's a sense of freedom in knowing your files are clean, clear, and current. Because in the end, this isn't about your desk or your drawers. It's about your mind. You're creating space not just in your physical environment, but in your mental one. A space where decisions are easier. Where clarity replaces chaos. Where stress gives way to confidence. Setting up your time, space, and tools isn't glamorous, but it is powerful. It's the launchpad for a life where you manage your commitments instead of being managed by them. And once that's in place, you're ready to truly get things done. Chapter 5: Capturing and Corralling Your Stuff. In the Getting Things Done system, the first essential step is capture. Capture means gathering all your incomplete, everything that's unfinished, unresolved, or just floating around in your mind, and bringing it together in one place. Think of it as emptying your mental and physical clutter into a trusted container, your tray. This process can take anywhere from 1 to 6 hours, depending on how much stuff you have. It might be tempting to do only a partial capture, to rush through it or skip some piles, but don't. The goal is to get everything out. When you capture 100% of your stuff, you gain a clear understanding of your commitments and can move forward with the confidence that nothing is hiding or forgotten. That clarity alone is worth the upfront time. Physical gathering. Start with tangible items. This means collecting all those physical loose ends: business cards, to-do lists scrolled on post-its, random papers, old charges, notes stuck on your desk, mail unopened, receipts, or even the odd item lurking in a drawer. You'll need an tray for this. But one tray likely won't be enough. Prepare for piles on your floor or table, and don't worry about neatness at this stage. If something is too bulky to move, like artwork behind a door or a large binder, just leave it where it is and put a reminder note in your tray that points to it. Remember, do not try to organize or sort these items while capturing. Focus solely on collecting. If there are things to throw away or recycle, do that now, but anything else belongs in your tray or piles. Check everywhere at the top of your desk, your drawers, shelves, cabinets, anywhere stuff might be hiding. Voice messages, too, should be emptied out onto paper so you don't lose track. But emails can stay where they are for now, since their volume usually makes physical capture impractical. Mental gathering. Once you've rounded up all your physical items, it's time to clear your mental space. Think of this as emptying your brain's RAM, all the tasks, worries, ideas, and to-do items swirling around in your head. Grab your stack of paper and write down each thought, one per page or note. These aren't actions yet, they're just placeholders for later processing. You're making room in your mind by acknowledging every incomplete commitment or idea. This mental capture usually takes 20 minutes to an hour, depending on how cluttered your mind feels. To help you, the book offers a list of over 200 possible items you might have floating around, from call the doctor to research vacation spots to finish tax documents. Go through this list mentally and write down everything that applies. Every single task, concern, or project you can think of belongs on your notes and into your trusted tray. By now, you should have all your stuff gathered physically and mentally. This is the foundation for the rest of the GTD system. You are no longer relying on memory or vague awareness. Instead, everything is captured in a trusted, external system. At this point, resist the urge to start organizing or deciding what to do with each item. This first phase is purely about capture, getting your head and your space clear. Only after you have everything collected can you move on to the next steps, clarifying what each item means, organizing them by category or priority, reflecting regularly, and finally engaging with your actions. In short, capturing is the essential first step that sets the stage for all the productivity and calm to come. Without capture, your mind stays cluttered and your work feels scattered. With capture, you create space to think, space to focus, space to act. This step can be challenging because it forces you to face everything at once. But it's also liberating. Because once your stuff is corralled, you can finally stop chasing mental ghosts and start making real progress. Chapter 6: Clarifying, getting into empty. Now that you've captured all your stuff into your tray, the next crucial step is clarify. Clarifying means going through each item you've collected and figuring out exactly what it is and what you're going to do about it. This doesn't mean you'll be doing everything right away. Instead, you're deciding the next step for every item. Let's walk through how this works. The first question you ask yourself when you pick up an item from your tray is, what is it? Then, is it actionable? If it's not actionable, it falls into one of three categories: trash, someday/maybe, or reference. If it is actionable, then you decide what to do next. Let's explore each of these. Processing guidelines. When clarifying, keep 3 important rules in mind. First, always process the top item first. Even if the second item looks more interesting or easier, start at the top and work down. This helps you avoid decision fatigue and ensures nothing gets left behind. If you're working through emails, start with the newest item to save time responding to recent messages. Second, process one item at a time. Avoid dumping your entire pile in front of you and jumping around. Focus on the top item, decide what to do, then move on. Third, never put anything back into your tray. Once you pick it up, decide its fate. Putting things back is a waste of time and mental energy. If the item is not actionable, you have 3 options. Trash, items you no longer need. Many of these you may have discarded already. If you're unsure, decide what philosophy fits you. When in doubt, throw it out, or when in doubt, keep it. If you keep it, make sure your reference filing system is simple and easy to maintain. Remember, a cluttered reference system can become useless. Someday/maybe, these are items you might want to do later, but not now. For example, writing an agenda for a meeting weeks away, considering attending a future event, or learning a new hobby someday. Put these on the someday/maybe list or in your calendar or tick a file. Keep related papers in a pending tray for now. Reference, non-actionable information you want to keep. Have a filing system, physical or digital, that lets you file away things quickly and retrieve them easily later. If you haven't organized your reference files yet, now's a great time. Many people leave reference emails in their inbox, but setting up folders helps keep your inbox clear. If the item is actionable, now it gets interesting. Sometimes you need to figure out what the next action actually is. For example, clean the garage might seem simple, but there are multiple steps. You might realize you need to call John about the refrigerator first. Or for due my taxes, maybe you're waiting for some documents waiting for investment income papers. If you don't yet know the next step, it might be research ideas online or call Susan for input. Once you determine the next action, you have 3 choices. Do it. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it right away. Make the call, toss a mail, or reply quickly to that email. The 2-minute rule helps you avoid tracking tiny tasks that are faster to just do immediately. You can adjust this rule depending on your time availability. Delegate it. If it takes longer than 2 minutes and you're not the right person to do it, delegate. Decide who should take this on: your boss, colleague, assistant, or partner, and reach out via email, call, or text. Once delegated, track it on a waiting for list, including the date you handed it off. This helps you follow up and stay informed. Defer it. Most tasks will take longer than 2 minutes and need to be done by you. Put these on your next actions list, organized by context: calls to make, emails to send, errands, computer work, and so on. You'll learn more about organizing next actions in the next chapter. Also, many tasks require multiple steps. These are what Alan calls projects. For example, cleaning the garage isn't a single action. Calling John about the refrigerator is the first step, but there are many more steps after. Initially, keep these multi-step projects in a pending tray until you can organize them fully. Clarifying is the key step that turns your stuff from a vague pile of reminders into concrete, manageable next steps. It's where you move from overwhelm to clarity, knowing exactly what each item means and what you will do next. By following the rules, process the top item first, one at a time, and never put things back. You build a system that keeps your workflow moving and your mind clear. With everything clarified, you're ready to move on to organizing and reflecting. But without this essential step, your system will never work smoothly. So take your time. Be honest. Ask the question, what's the very next action I can take? And decide, do it, delegate it, or defer it. You're on your way to emptying your tray in your mind one step at a time. Chapter 7: Organizing, Setting Up the Right Buckets. The 5 steps in the Getting Things Done GTD system. I. Capture. Roman 2. Clarify. Roman 3. Organize. Roman 4. Reflect. V. Engage. After you finish clarifying what each item means and what next action it requires from the previous step, the next important step is to organize everything properly. Organizing means putting your tasks, reminders, and information into the right bucket so you can easily find and trust them. For example, if you want to keep something just for future reference, it should go into a trusted filing system, not your email inbox. If you want to call someone, that item should be on your next actions list under a category like call so you remember to make the call when the time is right. There is no single perfect way to organize your system. It will evolve with your needs. When you empty your inbox or tray for the first time, you'll have many items to sort. The key is to put them into categories that make sense to you. Below are 8 main buckets or categories where your tasks and items will belong. 7 of these need active tracking and management, and the 8th is just for trash. 1. Calendar. 2. Project list. 3. Someday/maybe. 4. Next actions. 5. Reference. 6. Project materials. 7. Waiting for. 8. Trash. It's very important to keep clear boundaries between these categories. For instance, if you put a next action on your calendar that does not require a specific date or time, you'll stop trusting your calendar because it will become cluttered with non-urgent tasks. Similarly, if you mix reference materials with your someday/maybe ideas, it'll create a pile so large it becomes overwhelming. Clear categories help keep your mind calm and your system trustworthy. Organizing reminders, actions, and projects. Calendar. When processing your inbox or tray, put all fixed appointments and events on your calendar. For example, if you have a meeting on Friday at 2 p.m., put it on your calendar. If an item must occur on a specific day but time doesn't matter, like paying a bill by Friday, put it on that date in your calendar. Do not put hopeful or non-committed tasks on your calendar like try to finish report Monday because this weakens your system. Next actions. This is a list of all immediate next steps you can take to move your projects forward. These actions should be grouped by context, that is, by location, tool, or person involved. For example, calls or all phone calls you need to make. A computer, tasks requiring your computer. Errands, things to do outside the house. At office, work-specific tasks. Read/review, items to read or review. Emily, actions involving a person named Emily. This grouping helps you be efficient. If you're out running errands, you can check your errands list and do all those tasks at once, rather than switching back and forth. If you have a few minutes waiting for a meeting, you can use the time to plow through your calls list. Having one long mixed list of 50 items is overwhelming and makes it hard to decide what to do next. Waiting for. Keep a list of things you're waiting on from others, to like waiting for a reply to an email or colleague's approval. Include the date when you requested it. Keep this list close so you can casually follow up, like, by the way, have you had a chance to look at that proposal? Special case, email. Email can get overwhelming, so David Allen recommends organizing it inside your email program itself. Create folders like action for emails requiring actions that take more than 2 minutes. Waiting for emails you're waiting on replies for. Referenced emails you want to keep for info only. Keep your inbox only for actionable emails you can handle quickly. Move others into these folders as you process them. Projects lists. Keep a master list of all your project. A project is anything that takes more than one step to complete, like prepare taxes or organize conference. You can't do a project itself, only the individual next actions that make it up. This projects list helps ensure nothing falls through the cracks and lets you review your bigger outcomes regularly. Someday/maybe. This is a parking lot for ideas or actions you might want to do someday, but aren't committed to now. For example, learn Spanish or start writing a book. You review this list occasionally to see if anything should be moved into active projects. Reference. Store any information you want to keep for later but don't need to act on now, like manuals, notes, or articles. Project materials. Keep physical or digital materials related to projects organized separately, like documents, receipts, or emails tied to a project. Trash. Items you no longer need. Let them go. Why organizing like this works. When you put everything into clear buckets and keep your system up to date, your mind feels lighter and calmer because you trust your lists and calendar. You don't waste time figuring out what to do next because your next actions are clear and sorted. You reduce stress since you know you won't forget anything important. You focus better on the task at hand because distractions are managed. Example. Imagine you receive an email asking you to review a report and call your manager about a meeting. You clarify that review report is in action. If it will take longer than 2 minutes, you move the email to action in your inbox and add a review report to your next actions list under a computer. The call manager about meeting is a phone call, so you add it to your next actions list under calls. If you're waiting for the manager to confirm a meeting time, you add that to your waiting for list. By organizing like this, when you're at your computer, you check your computer list and tackle all such tasks efficiently. When you have phone time, you look at your calls list. This method may feel complex at first, but once set up, it saves huge amounts of mental energy and keeps you productive with less stress. Your system becomes your trusted external brain, freeing your mind to focus on creativity and meaningful work. Alright, imagine you have so many things swirling in your mind: projects, tasks, ideas, and it feels overwhelming. The first step is to get all those projects out of your head and onto paper or into your digital system. This is your projects list. Don't worry about organizing them or deciding what's most important right now, just write everything down. This act alone can bring a huge sense of relief because your brain isn't juggling all the clutter anymore. Every week, you'll review this list carefully to decide what the very next actions are for each project. These actions will go into your next actions list, or maybe your waiting for list if you're waiting on someone else, or even into your calendar for something to do on a specific date. The key is to keep this projects list as a complete collection, so nothing slips through the cracks. Next, think about project materials. These are the resources you need for each project: documents, notes, files. It's tempting to let these piles remind you of what you need to do, but that's actually inefficient. Instead, keep these materials well organized separately, whether digitally or physically. This way, when you're ready to work on a project, you have everything at hand, but your task lists stay clear and focused on actions. Now, let's talk about reference materials. These are things you want to keep but that don't require any action. For example, recipes if you like cooking, or contact details at work. Keeping these mixed with your to-dos or projects can be confusing and stressful. So you organize reference items separately, typically alphabetically, so you can find what you need quickly without cluttering your active task space. You also need a someday/maybe list. This is where you put all those wouldn't it be nice someday ideas, like learning a new language or going on a trip that you aren't ready to act on yet. This list frees your mind from holding on to these thoughts but keeps them available for when you do want to move them forward. During your weekly review, you can decide if any items from someday/maybe should become active projects. To make sure you don't forget things you want to do in the future, use your calendar as a gentle reminder system. For example, if there's a birthday coming up, add a note a week before to buy a gift. Or if a conference is months away, put a reminder to decide whether to attend. This way, you don't have to make decisions now, but you trust your calendar to nudge you later. Another powerful tool is the tickler. File a physical or digital filing system divided by months and days. Think of it like mailing reminders to yourself to arrive exactly when needed. If you prepare an agenda for a meeting on the 12th, you file it under day 12. Each day, you check that day's folder and pull out what needs your attention. It's a hands-on way to keep your reminders organized and timely. Finally, don't underestimate the power of checklists. Life and work have many dimensions: team morale, processes, timelines, family, health, finances, and more. Creating checklists for these areas ensures you don't overlook important but maybe less urgent parts of your life. You might have a weekly review checklist or a packing checklist for camping. Checklists keep you balanced and make sure attention is complete, not scattered. When you put all these pieces together, it's not just about managing tasks, it's about creating calm and clarity in your mind. You no longer feel weighed down by endless mental to-dos. Instead, you feel in control and confident, knowing everything has its place and you're prepared for whatever comes next. It's empowering to have a system that supports your focus and peace of mind every single day. To wrap it up, getting organized with a clear projects list, managing your materials and references separately, keeping a someday/maybe list, using your calendar and tickler file for timely reminders, and relying on checklists for important life areas creates a system that truly works for you. This approach not only clears your mind, but also boosts your productivity and peace of mind. By taking these steps, you set yourself up for success in both work and life. Remember, controlling your mind is a journey. Start small. Stay consistent. Your peace and success depend on it. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content to help you grow mentally and emotionally. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.